This one is about something I feel about arguments between religions becoming political and not remaining set apart. You'll always notice in politicians' arguments and governments, it seems, that their method somehow of proving themselves is to bash the other party. How is it that bashing the other politician is somehow reinforcing your own self or your own viewpoint? For someone to effectively, in healthiness, argue a position, they should present strong points for their argument rather than turn and bash the other. You see a lot of times in politics, a candidate for some office will show all these negative things about the other person, rather than just saying, this is what reinforces what I believe, who I am, what I'm doing, what I'm saying. When it comes down to a religious argument, it can get political along those same lines. Rather than saying, this is the evidence to support what I believe, how I feel, the reason why, it seems like the first thing they'll come out with is, well, this is what they do, this is what they believe, this is why it's wrong. How can the presentation of your negative viewpoint of the other side be a positive reinforcement of your own side? I do not agree with this at all. Bashing should not be a part of healthy, because it's not healthy, argument. Now, I do believe that argument is healthy because there's something that's happened in language, okay? In the English language, the word quarrel has become archaic. It's not very often used. It's a seldom used term. To quarrel is negative. It's unhealthy. To argue is positive and healthy because you're expressing a different viewpoint. A discussion is speaking of details, one with another, of a position that you both share. An argument is discussing details of an opposing viewpoint. It's a quarrel when negative emotion heats it up and everything. But you don't hear quarrel too much anymore. So the meanings or definitions have devolved to where people think of or use the word argument as if it's a quarrel. An argument is not a quarrel. I understand argument and how healthy it is. You see argument continually in yeshiva and amongst rabbis even, and everything. To argue is a necessary thing, but there should never be bashing within it. There is one thing that can be misunderstood, though. If you understand historical details of the origins of specific beliefs, to present the details and informations of how everything came about to be the way it is today, now that can be a healthy part of an argument. Did you know that the origin of what you're speaking came from this particular person who first brought the idea, and it came from this other source, and this is how it filtered through into what you've been taught today? Look into it, research it, and let's examine it. That can be a healthy thing. But the intent behind it should be instructive and with consideration. for the well-being and understanding of the person that you're arguing with. That would be different than bashing. But the spirit behind what is supposed to motivate someone to present it that way lacks, oftentimes. Considerably lacks. And it becomes bashing. A set-apart people should never bash or attack another side. It does not help you. It does not reinforce you or your position. It just enters into a verbal war. So, a religious, healthy discussion and arguments should not turn into bashing, or you have exited the substance behind what is supposed to exist within the set apart to help instruct or admonish another people who may not understand the same details that you have gathered and perceived. I wish it were not so, but oftentimes religious discussion or arguments become political in nature, and finding negativity on the part of the other people, just like politicians seems to wind up happening, and I wish it were not so. And I thank you for your time once again.